so good for the 8-pointers. They like all want to, help. They're rooting for each other on to take down the players in first place.
Here we have Parham Maghsoodloo playing against Jan Nepomniachtchi.
Oh, that's a big matchup. Somehow that's the one on the third board, if you will. But for Jan Nepomniachtchi, I mean, very few people could be happier than him with how the pairings went, because instead of if he wins his game, he knows that he'll trail fewer people at the end. So we see Jan Nepomniachtchi from the black side. Maybe he got to the board late, because I've never really seen him spend this much time in the opening. But I have to say I like this from the white side. Bishop pair, solid play. Parham should be happy. And now they both are staring in the same direction, off into the sunset.
I'm always a little sad when we don't get the camera on Nepo, because I appreciate seeing he has this great collection from World of Warcraft hanging on the walls behind and all that. And it's just, I feel like he brings us into his house to a strong degree whenever he's there. His cat sometimes is walking around. And
yeah, he also is a very demonstrative person, where he'll be mad at himself, even if he played a great move. And right now, I really don't like the way he's playing this game. I wonder if he's having some connection issues. And the reason I say that is because he doesn't spend this much time early on. And he's now down well over 30 seconds. His opponent, being none other than Parham, has a pair of bishops and has diagonals to work with. So I really don't like this from a strategic point for Jan Nepomniachtchi. It also doesn't look like his style to me. So Parham has a free hand at what should be a stable advantage. So good news for Parham. He's going to have to take this game and hope that the others don't win as well, because he's now rooting for Andreykin and Benjamin Bach. And 3 equally important matchups to end the day. Could not ask for more in this final stage, as Jan Nepomniachtchi brings his knight to the center, trying to trade off pieces. And I think he's really doing the best he can, given the bad start to this game.
But you talked about connection issues. Maybe that is a possibility. I mean, he is playing in the Grenke freestyle. He may be, I don't know where he is right now.
On an airplane?
He may be on an airplane. He may be at a hotel room. We all know about hotel Wi-Fi, how it can create mayhem. And I think that's just something we have to take with this format, because sometimes you are left with bad internet.
It's true. And that's why, you always have to be somewhere with a stable connection, somewhere you trust, get that Ethernet cord ready. But yeah, if you're playing on an airplane, as Magnus did earlier, you probably will not have the best connection. And right now, I think what Jan is doing has been pretty smart. He's traded off pieces. That is eliminating some of the issues that have previously been on the board. But we see a very strong bishop attacking a queen, attacking a knight behind it. We see a semi-open file that can put pressure on a pawn. I think small plus here, but a lasting plus for Parham Maghsoodloo. As long as he doesn't make this move and blunder a bishop. That would be very, very tragic, because there's a pin pawn in the center. So Parham's doing well. I think he's given himself very good chances to increase his advantage and then play for a win. But again, he's reliant on some of the other results.
What conclusions can we draw from the Niemann against Andreykin in the beginning here? It does seem like Niemann suddenly got a huge advantage.
So it looks like Hans is up material. He's up a rook for a knight. I don't know what Dmitry did, but something went really wrong for him in this game, where, oh my goodness, he made a one-move blunder. So Hans has been the recipient of one-move blunders 2 games in a row. This one was just blundering a skewer. The queen and rook were in the same diagonal. The bishop attacked the queen moved, the rook was lost. So for Hans, he better put this one away. He will not forgive himself if he doesn't win this game against yet another super grandmaster who he's up material against. Wow. You don't expect Duda and then Andreykin to make such, for their incredibly high level, silly mistakes.
And I would think that Niemann has also the tiebreaker, because he was ahead of Maghsoodloo prior to this last round. But as we know, a lot of things can happen with the different results, so you're never safe in this format.
No, it's like in the Olympiad. For anyone who likes that team event, at the last round, all the top competitors are playing, and their captains are doing math, where they're like, okay, so if Finland's board 3 wins, how does that change our tie breaks? And then, okay, well, we're looking at that matchup there between Kyrgyzstan and Namibia. It's like all this sort of, you're looking at all these countries that don't seem like they play a part, but there's the tiebreak system will determine if there are multiple people on the same points. And here, it looks like the points obviously favor Maghsoodloo, 8.5 points entering the round to 8 for Nepo. But on the board. It's an extra exchange and 1 pawn, but Nepo gave up his rook for a bishop so that he could land this nice knight fork. That's a check to both the king and now this rook. The rook is gone. The knight leaves the board as well. So white is left a pawn to the good. Now this pawn is loose, and now Parham takes that. Oh, a miscalculation perhaps by Nepo, thinking this pawn was going down, but then it's him who will yell timber because check hits the king, hits the rook, and we know that Parham, he is tenacious, and I think he wants to trade queens now. So if you're Parham, something like this looks really strong. I think a lot of these rook endgames have great winning chances if they're not outright winning. Instead, he just defends his pawn. So he's saying, I'll keep my extra material. I'll keep my 35 seconds lead on the clock. And Parham's doing the work. Ooh, Nepo. You can always trust Jan to find some ambitious, feisty move. And it was a good move because otherwise he's just sitting doing nothing. But Parham says there's 1 queen in front of what's going to be a 2nd queen. His plan is very simple. Check, push, and then push. That's really all he wants. And it may be that straightforward at this point.
But it's still nice, though. I mean, in this day and age, with so much computer prep, so much analysis and everything, I mean, chess is still dominated in these days, at least by this old guard that truly values creativity.
Yeah. And I kind of consider Parham like a chess boxer on the board, if that makes sense. Like, he is somebody always willing to get into a fight. He is scared of absolutely no one. Doesn't matter if your name is Magnus Carlsen or whoever else. He is willing to take you on. Right now, he is about to get a 2nd queen, but he does have this concern here. There's a check, and that would be a yo-yo string draw by repetition. Just very important for those of you watching to learn this kind of mechanism that the white king will not be able to escape. So what Parham wants to do then is maybe make a move like queen here to stop the check from continuing. The problem with that is you allow 1 check and then this pawn to push, and suddenly you're worried about the safety of your king. Not that you're going to checkmate it, but that there will be a draw available to black. So Parham, because he conserves his time wisely, now he has time to calculate. He still may go wrong. It's a very tricky position right now. In fact, I'm not even 100% sure what I would do here because this move looks very natural to me. Another way to stop all those checks could be to bring the queen and blockade. That way it looks a bit passive. But there's also this move, which I think is a bit tricky, but I don't know what's going on here. The point, everyone, of king here is that if black continues that same mechanism, white throws in a check. So I'm moving my king out of immediate check. It's kind of like prophylaxis, as they call it, just trying to escape black's immediate threat. I don't know if that works, though.
But how much time does Parham have?
Under a minute. And he slinks his queen out. That was one of the moves I suggested. He can now block a check with his queen. And this apparently is the winning decision, but that wasn't. He needed to bring his queen back. He had a check that he could have given. He could have gone here. But now he has allowed the black queen to start gobbling up pawns. If his queen does at some point come back and block, he needs to make sure he's not losing connection with his passed pawn because he might lose this game if he tries too hard to win. So you see the determination. Parham wants it. He wants it more, and he's given all his pawns. A great example about it's the quality of the pawn. White has the best pawn on the board. It wants to become a queen, but the white king has nowhere to hide. It looks like the black king just has too many. Queen, excuse me, has too many checks. He's botched it.
Wow.
And he doesn't even want to be on camera anymore. That's how upset he is. Oh, he's back. His king is trying to dart into the black position, but the problem is it hides behind a pawn, but there still will be checks. Checks galore. He's not getting out of them. This should be a draw.
And Parham is desperately trying to figure out something.
As desperate as he may be, he's not going to find it here. The problem is that the white queen, and there the draw is official. Parham Maghsoodloo seemed to have in the bag, but one misstep was all it took. Jan Nepomniachtchi survives. Parham not getting first, I don't think.
But you warned us here.